You're watching WAFF 48 News at 5 on your side.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. I'm Nolan Crane. We begin in Limestone County where a man is facing attempted murder charges after a shooting last night. 34-year-old Eric Bryers is accused of shooting another man at a Dollar General on Highway 127 about 24 hours ago. According to the Limestone County Sheriff, witnesses told them Bryers and the victim got into an argument about a woman when Bryers then pulled out a gun and fired several shots. The victim is expected to survive. Police say they recovered a gun from Bryers when he was arrested. We have an update from Henniger involving a crash from last night where a pedestrian was hit. This crash happened right here on Bellevue Road near Broad Street in Alabama 75. The police chief tells us the man hit has died. His identity has not yet been released, but Chief Smith also says the driver will not face any charges. A shocking story from Birmingham where a fight between three UAB football players led to a stabbing in the team's locker room. This happened this morning as the team was preparing for its game against South Florida. Police say the players got into an altercation and one player then stabbed two of his teammates. The name of the people involved has not been made public. The two injured players are stable at last check, but we do not know their exact condition. The third player is in custody. The rest of the team played their game.
It's been a nice day across the valley. We did have some very early morning showers, but we're going to continue to see beautiful conditions going into the rest of our evening and even into your Sunday. Looking outside right now, temperatures at the moment in those upper 60s, starting to see the sunset across the valley, looking smooth along Parkway as far as traffic goes. Some areas still hanging on to those 70s, but we'll start to see a cooler condition for tomorrow, expecting to see our highs close to about 70 and just those upper 60s as well. Looking at the rest of your evening, though, we're expecting to see temperatures stick around those mid and low end 60s as we go further into your evening. Nice and comfortable for your Saturday night plans. Whatever you have planned to go outside and do, it's going to be a nice night to do it. We do start to see increasing clouds getting into your Sunday, but we start the day out with those temperatures in the upper end 50s. Nice and comfortable out the door for your early morning church service or just early morning activity.
Now to a 48 News update on a story that's had neighbors in Decatur talking for several months. A subdivision currently under construction near the Burning Tree Golf Course will not be selling its homes to landlords and equity companies. Last year, the builders of Foxwood Farms announced they would sell the homes to people who would then turn around and rent them out. That raised outrage in the community from people who want more opportunities for home buyers in the area. The subdivision's builders later declared bankruptcy and left many of these houses unfinished. Now, according to our partners at Decatur Daily, those unfinished lots have been bought by a new developer. The new builders just filed paperwork saying the homes will be sold on the open market and not directly to landlords. And we're on your side today in Limestone County, talking to homeowners who have waited over 10 years to get a slowly deteriorating bridge rebuilt. And the reason for the long delay, it might shock you. WAFF 48's Noah Cowell joins us now live outside of Limestone County. Noah, the bridge is the only way for these residents to get in and out of their homes, and it clearly needs some work. So now we all want to know, what's the holdup?
Well, Nolan, the reason for this years-long delay is all because of some endangered snails. Take a look right here behind me. The bridge that goes across Limestone Creek can only hold up to 3 tons. That just means your normal vehicles, no buses, garbage trucks, or fire trucks can go on that bridge across to the 6 homes that are there. Now, the county has wanted to do something about this for the past decade plus, but these endangered snails have kept them from doing so. I talked this morning to the Limestone County engineer, Mark Massey, who says the county received a $500,000 grant to replace this aging bridge all the way back in 2014. But the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service noticed the armored Marstonia, or armored snail, lives in this creek. Massey says these snails are so small that 50 of them can fit onto a single quarter. The Wildlife Service said the county could only build a similar bridge instead, which would cost them $1.5 million. Funds they just didn't have. And after asking the state to help several times, they've declined.
Trying to find a solution that maybe provides the most convenient is not always the most cost effective. I'd love to wave a magic wand and have the money and the commission say, hey, go build the bridge. That'd be great. We have not been able to do that at this point, so we are trying to balance that. And so, like I said, it's not frustration, but difficulty.
Now, here's a look at the snail causing all this trouble. The residents who live here say either the state needs to help fund this project or the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service needs to come back out here to determine how exactly they could move these snails and continue with this project. Now, Massey says that his other option is to build a road down the way from here that would go directly to those homes, but it would add another 2 miles of a detour for these residents here, something they absolutely do not want to do. Reporting live in Limestone County, Noah Cowell, 48 News, on your side.
And we're covering your community in Marshall County, where the Sheriff's Office held a special event today to help everyone learn more about autism. Several different first responder groups participated in this Unity in the Community event in Guntersville. They learned about more effective ways to communicate with and understand both children and adults with autism. Deputy Sierra Bishop says she's here to teach what she learned in a recent autism awareness class.
We're here to help, not hurt. So our main thing is, if somebody's having an outburst, let our deputies have the patience, learn to be calm, learn how to deal with the kids and adults. It was a great class. We learned a lot from that class, so that's when we ended up doing where I've come up with this event.
Guntersville Police and Fire were also on hand to help show kids how their equipment works and to make first responders seem a little less scary. It's beginning to look like Christmas. After the break, we're going to take you to a Christmas market. Plus, attention deer hunters, depending on where you live right here in the valley, if you harvest deer this weekend, you need to get that deer tested. Everything you need to know next.
And beautiful sunshine will remain in the forecast, but we have some showers just before the holiday. I'll walk you through the timeline in just a couple minutes.
The need for speed. Teams of young racers and car engineers from all around North Alabama. They were in Newmarket this morning for a Green Car Grand Prix. About 30 different elementary and middle schools from Buckhorn High School. That's where they showed up to race their electric vehicles. These cars came in a kit that students then spent weeks putting together and modifying. And today it was time to show off and race.
Race day is the best day of the season, and thankfully they get to do it multiple times, but they really understand what green power looks like and what it comes about when they come to races. So they really get to see all the hard work that they put into the car and be able to figure out, what they need to do to improve and stuff.
And congratulations to all the students who helped build and then race these cars.
Now, your first alert weather forecast with Jada Russell. 48's Umbrella a Week giveaway is sponsored by Mr. Rooter, your locally owned expert plumbers for over 34 years.
Jada, beautiful weather across the valley, and that was good news for those students who put so much time and effort into those cars. You want the sun to be shining.
And it honestly looked like it was going to be a little murky today, but I'm so glad those clouds finally went away around maybe mid-morning. So we led a lot of sunshine, and that's going to continue into your Sunday. Right now we're seeing the sunset over the shoals. We've had some pretty not so great weather as of Friday heading into today, but at least we're closing it out on a nice and pretty note. Temperatures right now at about 70 for the shoals. comfortable. Some areas are in those upper in 60s. We're going to continue to see a range of these temperatures kind of dropping into those upper 60s in the next hour or two as we get closer into sunset. But a lot of our communities in the east and then maybe north areas as well, still seeing some of those 60s. Looking further west, though, that's where we're seeing those warmer 70s in a few spots south like Albertville there, a little warmer than anticipated. So for the next 12 hours, we're going to continue to see 60s for across the valley overnight tonight into the late evening, and then we'll get to about those mid 50s as we go through the morning. Now, it will be a cooler start because we did have a cold front coming alongside a good portion of those showers that we saw yesterday. Didn't see a ton of that push back in today's forecast, but we'll start to see it gradually drop our temperatures down into somewhat average for this time of year. Our high for tomorrow is expected to be about 67, and so a lot of folks will continue to see some nice fall-like conditions. Pretty average for this time of year, just a couple degrees above it. But we will have a few clouds around for most of your Sunday, but nothing overcast. It'll be a nice mild day, pretty November-like, so to speak. So we're going to see those 50s get back into the forecast in the morning and the evening, but most of the afternoon is going to be those nice, comfortable 60s. And for the next couple of days, we do have some rain chances just before the holiday. Tuesday is going to be the highest chance of rain. We're going to see that shower potential kind of grow and give us some heavy downpours at times. Kind of pushes our temperatures down, though, by the time we get to Thanksgiving. We'll take a 10-degree drop, getting to about 53 Thanksgiving Day. And then as we get to the weekend, if you have some tailgates setting up for Iron Bowl, it's going to be a little chillier than we start the week. So keep that in mind as you make your plans. Rain chances after that will return by Monday and Tuesday. So keep that in mind as you get back to work. So that'll be the forecast for then.
Good to know. Thank you, Jada. And it's officially deer hunting season right here in Alabama. If you harvest any deer this weekend and live in Lauderdale, Colbert, or northern Franklin County, you need to make sure you get the deer tested for chronic wasting disease. This is the 4th straight season the hunters in those areas are required to get their deer tested. Chronic wasting disease in deer is fatal and contagious. Employees with the CDC say there is no strong evidence for the occurrence of chronic wasting disease in people, even if you eat infected meat. For the last time, the UNA Lions have taken the field at Brawley Stadium. Bank Independence Stadium is under construction and should be ready to host the team next season. Fans and alumni, they came out to say goodbye to Brawley today. Now, the game, it was close all game. It even went into not 1, not 2, but 3 overtimes. It was a shootout for both teams. The UNA Lions took on Southern Utah. This game, it ended with a completed 2-point conversion. Unfortunately, it's bad news for the UNA Lions. They lost today. Final score 34-36. But it's not bad news for Alabama fans. They're celebrating today, and the Tide put on a show. They dominated their opponent, Eastern Illinois. Alabama scored 2 touchdowns in each quarter, and they held the Panthers scoreless. Alabama, they won big today, 56-0. Alabama entered the game ranked 10th in the country, and they continue to hope that they can leapfrog several teams and make it to the playoffs. And in their final tune-up game before the Iron Bowl, the Auburn Tigers didn't have any trouble scoring points in their game today either. Auburn, they took on 9-1 Mercer Bears, and they showed the team who was boss. The Bears were held scoreless in the second half. Auburn won 62-17. And Alabama A&M struggling in their final game of the year. They're down 24-7 in the fourth quarter against Texas Southern. And we will have more scores and highlights from the football field coming up tonight at 10. Now to the ice, where the Huntsville Havoc, they're looking for another big night at the VBC for their second straight match with Pensacola. The arena, it was rocking last night as the Havoc lit the lamp 7 times. Unfortunately, not all good news. The captain, Don Procopio, he was injured in a first period fight and never returned to the ice yesterday. The Huntsville Havoc general manager says they're still not sure of the captain's status for tonight's game. That puck will drop tonight at 7 o'clock. And we all want to know weather, picture perfect so far.
Yes, it's going to be a gorgeous night, nice and wonderful out the door. We're seeing some 60s around too, so it's going to be nice and wonderful for the game.
Thank you, Jada, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you back online tonight at 10. Have a good rest of your night.